Good morning.
Good morning.
Yourself, sir. Tell us your name and DOC number.
Trevion Polidore, and my DOC number is 716-937.
All right, Mr. Polidore, we're here for a revocation decision this morning, and do you have a revocation questionnaire there in front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated March 24th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on that information, we are ready to proceed this morning without appointed counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to read the allegations against you, and I'm going to ask you to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll have a discussion about that plea. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're accused of violating condition number 2. You last reported to your parole officer May 13, 2022. Is in violation of condition number 2. How do you plead to violating condition number 2? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
All right. Yeah. And then finally, condition number 10. You're in arrears of your supervision fees, $2,905. How do you?
Guilty.
Okay. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Roche. Would you answer his questions?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Give us an explanation of why you said not guilty, condition number 2.
Because during the time I was supposed to go see my PO, we used to like call over the Zoom video, and like that was around the time it had COVID. It had COVID in the office, and my parole officer was telling me I didn't have to come in the office because due to the COVID outbreak. So me and my girl, and my
Trevion, you hadn't reported since May of 22. COVID was just about over. So why didn't you report in July, August, September, October, November of 22?
I have no excuse, but I was calling my parole officer, and I used to leave him voicemails, and that was around the time I was trying to learn how to walk again, because I couldn't walk for about 3 or 4 months.
So you telling me from May to December 22, you tried to get your parole officer and you didn't talk to him or her once?
Yeah, we used to talk over the phone, but I just never been. I guess he's saying like I've never been in the office since May. But I used to call him over the phone, and I used to leave him voicemails. We used to talk on the phone.
Okay, when you talked on the phone, did he tell you to come in?
Yeah, and when he told me to come in, I came in. When he told me to come in on the I think the 8th of one of these past months, I came in, and when he told me I had a warrant, I didn't know I had a warrant. I didn't know I had a warrant out for my parole, because I would have been came and turned myself in.
Okay, why would parole officer write up a charge that you violated condition number 2 because he had not seen you since May of 2?
I don't know, sir.
When's the last time you actually visited with your parole officer?
I know for sure it was after May, but it was over the Zoom. It was over the Zoom call. It was over the video chat.
So how old are you?
24.
24. I'm asking you a question. When is the last time you had any visual contact with your parole officer?
I'm guessing May.
Then the charge is correct.
Okay,
So
yes, sir.
why haven't you followed the rules and regulations and reported as instructed?
I have no excuse.
You have no excuse. Okay, condition number 10. Why are you 4 years behind on your supervision fees? You have not paid one payment in 4 years.
Because it was hard for me to get a job.
So you telling me you've been employed for the last 4 years?
You know, it's been like on and on, like job, like temporary job, like cutting grass and, like, side jobs.
Why haven't you paid any of your fees in the last 4 years? I'm gonna ask you again.
I have no excuse.
And how do you plan to catch up? You owe $3,000.
I can't catch up and make a few payments. I can. Because I recently just started a job at Sunbelt. And that was a job that was paying like almost every week. So I could knock some of the payments down.
What is Sunbelt? Why are you employed? What kind
Sir?
of work is it? What kind of work is it?
The shipping and receiving work, like making PVC pipes, the plastic.
And you had that job at the time you were arrested.
Yes, sir.
How long had you had the job?
About a month.
And you didn't pay any fees?
No, sir. Because I had just started the job and I had just had a girl.
Trevion, my impression of you is that you are not very cognizant of rules. You don't follow rules. If you think you don't have to report, you think you don't have to pay supervision fees.
I know I have to do that.
Then why didn't you try? You have no excuse, right?
No, sir.
Other than you just didn't do what you're supposed to do.
I was trying.
So why should I put you back on supervision and you're gonna do the same thing over and over again?
I'm not gonna do the same thing over and over again. I learned from my mistakes. And it's my first time really being in, being in trouble again. So, I'm a man. I take responsibility for what I did. So, I learned from I learned from my mistakes. So if I was to go back out there, I know for sure I pay and I make sure I go see him every month or two.
Are you gonna see him often? You're gonna see him often than that? Now,
Yes, sir.
do you still have the job that you had when you were arrested?
Yes, sir. My girl said he been calling almost every week, looking for my whereabouts. So if I was to go home, I do still have my job.
Madam Chairman.
Mr. Rushay.
According to your letter from your mom, you got shot in December of 22 and you stopped reporting. I think you last saw your officer April the 8th of 22. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Those dates lined up?
Ma'am?
Those dates kind of line up for you because you stopped reporting in May, but you got shot in December and went through all that rehabilitation. Is that correct? I just want to get it straight. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you okay? Are you okay now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm okay. I made a full recovery.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I'm hoping you're gonna do something different with your life. When you talked about your job, I heard you say, I got a girlfriend. So that says to me that your finances went to her and not your freedom.
No, ma'am, to my daughter, to my daughter of anything, because I took that little girl.
Okay, but you do understand now you can't do anything unless you take care of your freedom first.
Yes, ma'am. I totally understand.
Your freedom is your parole conditions.
And I make sure I do everything I have to do to make sure my parole, I do what I have to do to make sure my parole is satisfied.
Okay, but what's not clear to me today is when from April the 8th, the last time you saw your officer, till they got the warrant, what was life like for you? Were you working? What were you doing? What was life like?
It was kind of like, it was kind of hard because, ain't no job really wanted to hire me. And I'm doing side hustles. And I was still living with my grandma. So I used to be trying to give my grandmother stuff, at the same time with me living with her. But it was kind of like, shaky a little bit.
What's your grandmother? Your grandmother, that's the one that wrote the letter for you? Your great grandmother who wrote the letter for you?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Regina Burbank.
Okay. All right, that's all I have to.
All right, so you've mentioned your daughter several times. What's your daughter's name?
Her name Mariah Galley.
How old is she?
She about to be 3 next. She better be 3 next month.
Okay, well, you told Mr. Roche we just had a daughter, but I do see that she's 3 years old. Okay, so listen, your mother is here on the phone and she wants to speak on your behalf. So we're going to ask her to tell us what she'd like us to know now. Ms. Polidore, we'd like to hear from you, ma'am. Hello? Yes, ma'am. What would you like us to know about Trevion? Ma'am, are we on this? Do you have, excuse me, ma'am, Miss Polidore? Miss Polidore, do you have your YouTube on in the background? You'll have to turn that off because we cannot hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's better, much better. Go ahead.
Yes. He went to school. He's been doing really good. He got my granddaughter. He's selling and trying to get custody of my granddaughter. He went to school for CDL. That is CDL. He currently here for being Slidell. After a situation in Generate, and I just figured Generate don't have any jobs, nothing in Slidell here. There's trouble everywhere, but he's here with me in Slidell. He working in Slidell, my grandbaby. He loves to go see my mom and I'm visit my mom and I'm 2 days, went to see the probation officer, and I haven't seen him since. And I just pray, he'd be able to come home and continue doing what he's doing, because he is really doing. Really.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We appreciate your input. Thank you so much.
Email too.
We got it. We got it all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, Trevion, anything you want to say to us before we vote?
I just hope y'all find out I just hope y'all find sympathy, for me to get back out there and take care of my family and take care of all my parole responsibilities.
All right, well, thank you, sir. I think we're ready to vote, Mr. Roche.
Trevion, you're very young. You need to take Mrs. Wise's advice. I know you have to take care of your daughter, but you need to take care of your freedom first, because without that, you can't take care of your daughter. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
My vote is to do not revoke. Do not revoke. And I'm gonna add some conditions. First condition is you have to officially transfer your supervision to Slidell. If you hadn't done that already, you need to officially transfer your supervision to the Slidell district. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
When you do that, you need to report weekly. You ought to report weekly to your parole officer for the first 3 months. Get
Yes,
to
sir.
know your parole officer. Your parole officer is your friend. You have any problems, he can help you out. The third condition is that you need to double up on your supervision fee until you have a balance of 0. You have to pay twice as much per month until you have a balance of 0. Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
That's my decision.
Mrs. White.
A young man, I concur with my colleague. My vote is to do not revoke today and continue on the special conditions. And when you talk with your officer, find out what report means. Does that mean call? Does that mean in person? You gotta talk to somebody and find out which one it is. Take care of yourself. That's my vote.
All right, Mr. Fuller, I do concur. My vote is do not revoke. You're to transfer your supervision to the Slidell Probation and Parole Office and report weekly to your parole officer for the first 3 months. Good luck to you.
Thank you.